Welcome back to our profit series in the Pitching Powerhouse Podcast. I'm trying out a new camera today, and it's weird because I'm not entirely sure where to look because the camera's here, my notes are here, and it makes me feel like my eyes are kind of darting all over the place. But I bought this camera a while back at the recommendation of my video and podcast editor, and I really want it to work because I can't return it. So I am going to try to make it work. The problem is that it's really big and it's on a tripod. So if you see my eyes kind of looking all over the place, that is why. But if you're listening to the podcast, then you have no idea what I'm talking about. But you probably have been here for the other 2 episodes of this financial series. Last episode, we talked about your profit breakdown, and it's because I've realized that a lot of people in our programs don't entirely understand how to calculate their profit. They think that their revenue is their profit, but now we know better than that. So we're going to talk about what to do with that profit because we want you to invest for long-term financial stability and growth and to get your money working for you. So we're going to talk about investing before you splurge on lifestyle expenses like your amazing clothes or maybe like a shiny car or a dreamy trip you want to take. We want you to have all of those things and all the regular stuff, your regular hair appointments, maybe your kids need tutoring or you need somebody to help drive your kid to and from school. All of those things should be built into your life and the kind of lifestyle that you want to have. And it helps to have an understanding of your money, how to make your money work for you, and how to build lifetime wealth, long-term and hopefully generational wealth. This is a question I've gotten from so many members of our community around how to build a business that will provide generational wealth, because this is a dream and a hope for so many people, and they have never learned how to do it. And so hopefully this information will help you start to think about how to make your money work for you. And I just, on a personal note, I'm really passionate about helping you build this wealth and financial security because I really, truly want you to enjoy life and, enjoy the life that you've built. And, maybe you're waiting to retire to have some of these bigger experiences. Maybe you're building in these, once in a lifetime type of trips and experiences now. That's what I hope for you, is having both of those possibilities. That means having a business that works even if you're not there working on it. That's so much of what we talk about in Agency Accelerator, is setting up the systems and processes in your business so that you can take those trips and the business will run seamlessly without you. And it also means that you're setting up a business that allows you to go and do the things that you want to do, taking even time out of your day for yourself, taking time out of your week. I take typically Fridays off. I check in here and there, but I am mostly, no appointments, no calls. Yeah, just kind of have that time to myself. So I'm really trying hard to implement this 4-day work week. And that requires a business that is built to support that, a team that has autonomy, systems that help the business run even when you're not there running it, and the financial freedom that we're going to talk about so that you have the ability to afford those luxuries. So the main topics we're going to dive into, the first thing I want to talk about is profit first. There are dangers to spending your profit first, and it is a recipe for missing out on the opportunity to build major wealth. We are going to talk about why consistently setting aside profit immediately is not just smart. This is what is absolutely essential for long-term financial freedom. And this is what people have often referred to as paying yourself first. This is where you are not living off of the income or even the profit. You are setting up a consistent percentage of that profit to go into some type of an investment vehicle for yourself. And I'm going to talk about a few of those investment vehicles that you absolutely need. And I'm not talking about a Porsche or, a Mercedes as your investment vehicle. If you want one of those things, great. Make sure you can afford it first. And by afford it, I mean you have figured out your profit from your revenue, not just your revenue. Then with the money left over after paying taxes, paying your team and expenses, you take a percentage of that, you put it away for some kind of an investment vehicle, and then you have a little bit left over for lifestyle. And if your lifestyle is, I want to drive a Porsche, go for it, if the money is there to afford that. But let's talk about why also changing your spending habits today sets you up for an amazing tomorrow. I want you to approach your entire spending and savings habits, any systems you put in place around spending and saving, from the perspective of what would my future self thank me for? You can use this philosophy for for literally every aspect of your life. Any new habit you want to adopt. You think this might be a little bit painful today, a little bit of a challenge, a little bit of a learning curve today, but my future self will thank me for this. Future Jen is going to appreciate that present day Jen did her arm exercises. So future Jen that wants to go to the beach and, wear a tank top all summer is going to say, thank you, Jen from the past, for lifting weights and getting, toned for the summer. You don't just decide in the summer, I really want to have toned arms, and immediately you have them. You have to put in the work. It's all about consistency, right? So any habit that you want to adopt, anything, including spending, savings, any habit around keeping your home clean, getting your body moving, consistently seeing friends, all of those things should be approached from the mindset of my future self will thank me. If I do this, my future self will thank me. So think about this as a consistent, what you're doing today will set you up for success or your long-term need to work if you don't actively think about saving for your future. So you want to change your spending habits today to set you up for that amazing tomorrow. So we're going to talk about retirement vehicles that you need to have an awareness of and that you need to think about. This is going to be a clear breakdown of retirement options that everybody should have, that everybody should at least know about and think about what the right vehicle is for you. So the first is a 401k. This is a perfect type of savings, a retirement vehicle that will allow for consistent contributions that will reduce your tax burden. There's always a calculation that goes into what you are saving for the future that takes your taxes into consideration, because you want to maximize your retirement savings and what you get to keep, and you want to minimize what you're paying to the government and your taxes. Some of these accounts are taxed when you take the money out, but you have to be retirement age. Some of them are taxed when you put the money in, meaning it's post-income tax, like you get income tax, and then anytime you take money out on some of these, like a Roth IRA, this is a tax-free retirement income account. There are limitations with how much money you can be making and how much you can put into a Roth IRA. But if you qualify, and I'm going to preface also by saying you need to talk to your CPA. We just went through tax season. We just this month filed our taxes, and that's a great time for your accountant to talk to you about minimizing your tax obligation and maximizing your retirement contributions. And if you are not having that conversation with your accountant, you need to find another accountant. Or if you love your accountant, just say, hey, let's talk about how to minimize my tax obligation and maximize my retirement contributions. What does that look like for me? So a 401k reduces your tax burden. A Roth IRA is great for a tax-free retirement income, but you don't always qualify, because if you make too much money, you cannot contribute to a Roth IRA. So ask your accountant about that. There's also a SEP IRA. which is ideal for self-employed and small business owners. And this allows you to maximize savings. And if you are able to, you want to set up multiple accounts like this and then max out your contributions. The way to do that is by figuring out there's a balance, right? Like you don't want to put so much money into your retirement that you're actually not even able to have your living expenses, but you also want to minimize your tax obligation through write-offs, which could be any expenses, your team, any equipment that you have, even your car is a write-off, even you work from home and you have an internet, landline. If you're renting office space, those are all tax write-offs, which is great because you want to write off as much as you can. That'll minimize your tax. This is so nerdy and boring, but like I kind of love it a little bit because I love thinking about how we can, save for the future as much as possible and minimize what our obligation is every year to pay taxes. But these are legitimate write-offs. So what that means is you are taking the expenses that it takes to run your business and taking it right off the top of your revenue, which diminishes what your income looks like. Taxes are based on your income and retirement savings that you're able to contribute. Not everybody can contribute the same amount. It is a calculation of your income. So there's a benefit to writing off a ton of your expenses to get your obligation to pay your taxes lower, but that also minimizes the amount that you can be qualified to contribute to your savings. So that's another question for your CPA. What is my tax obligation here? And what does that mean for how much I can put away into my retirement? And all I would recommend is max out your retirement accounts as much as you possibly can. That is paying yourself first. So ask about a 401k, see if you qualify for a Roth IRA and then a SEP IRA. If you have your own small business or you're self-employed, that is a great vehicle for you. There's some other ones. Those are more complicated. If you're ready for that, your accountant will guide you in that direction. But any financial advisor or CPA is going to be your best resource for tailored advice. My bottom line here is your future self will thank you. My future self is going to thank me for paying yourself first, maximizing your retirement contributions every single year, because that will compound. And that leads me to my next topic, which is your financial BFF, the power of compound interest. It is amazing. It literally multiplies your money. So what happens is, if you don't know about compound interest will literally multiply your money because you earn interest on the initial investment, and then you continue to earn interest on the new total, creating exponential growth. Okay. So it means that if you keep the money in and you don't touch it, which is essentially what a retirement account does for you, it's invested however you choose to invest it. Like a 401k is not in and of itself an actual investment. It is a bucket of money that you can invest in different things. And that just means the taxes are deferred until you take the money in retirement. So like, don't say, oh, I have a 401k, and that means that it's a certain type of investment. There are different kinds of investments you make within your 401k. So if you want to really understand realistic market returns, there is something called the S&P 500, Standard & Poor's 500. That is like the typical market rate. Steady growth over time. It takes like the top 500 performing companies, top traded companies, and the standard around the S&P 500 is about 7 to 8%, which is not too shabby. Nothing, flashy fancy. It's just really steady growth over time. Sometimes you want to invest in things that will allow you to kind of beat the market. And that means beat the average market growth, which means you're investing in different things outside of what would be in the S&P 500, and you're trying to beat what the market return rate is. So a real life example, this is kind of a pie in the sky scenario. Picture investing around $225,000 for 10 years. Okay. With standard compound interest rates, that investment can grow significantly and provide you with enough interest to comfortably support your lifestyle without ever touching the original investment. So over the course of 10 years, you're putting in $225,000. That money is working for you in a retirement vehicle that is invested in certain things, around 7-8% if you're following the market, or better than that. Usually a really good financial advisor will think about your future and what your timeline is. The longer you have to retirement, the more risky that they can make your account, because if the market's up and down, you have a longer runway to make it up over time, right? Over time, there's historic growth, right? So the longer runway you have, the more risky you can be with your retirement, because and depending on your risk tolerance, you have a longer runway to make it up. Like right now, with the tariffs that were announced, the market was very volatile and reacted in a very scared way, went way down. I think a lot of people that are very close to retirement lost a lot of their savings, and they might not necessarily have a long runway to make it up. Whereas if you are younger and you are going to be working a little longer and you have more time, you can be a little riskier, keep more of your money in the market. And then if it's volatile, it'll typically go back up over time. That's just historically what it does. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just stating the obvious. Another kind of practical scenario for really kind of new investors or early investors is if you consistently invest around $19,000, $20,000 annually, which would be, let's say you're maxing out your 401k, and that's over a longer time frame because you're starting young, you have a long way to go. That will help you create substantial growth in your future. And it feels really modest now, but patience and consistency and compound interest will pay off big time for you. So this is where you are earmarking, let's say 20%, if that's manageable for you. You're paying yourself first. This is after you calculate from your revenue. You're calculating taxes, expenses, all the things to pay your team. And then you take what's left and you earmark a certain percentage. Let's say it's around $20,000, and consistently do that between the annual consistent contribution and the compound interest and the long time frame. Your future self is going to thank you. That is going to pay off for you big time. Okay. Some practical tips for smart investing is I want you to keep your business expenses under 40% of your revenue. That's doable, I think, in our industry, especially with the retainer model, which is the structure and the framework that I teach in the Agency Accelerator. The retainer model works really well. There's a lot of profit margin opportunities with that model, and you can set up your business in a way that allows you to have that much profitability. We're talking 60% profitability from your revenue. It's pretty good, right? When I'm watching Shark Tank with the kids, and I mean, even Friday we were watching, and there was a company that was making a lot of money, like $6 million in revenue a year. And then the sharks say, "What's your profit?" And they said, like 200,000. Like, what? That is so much revenue for so little profit. Anytime you can build in like a very significant profit margin, you're doing a lot better, because 12 million is a lot of revenue. There must be a lot of expenses, a lot of waste. You can streamline that significantly. So try to stick to around 40% and allocate your funds strategically. Remember, profit first, taxes, and then your lifestyle expenses. That comes last, okay? Because that will give you a clearer picture of what you can realistically afford for your lifestyle. I know a lot of people see online everybody's shiny, perfect, polished lives, and they might be flashy. They might be, you don't know if people are leveraged to the hilt. Your friend who's driving a big, flashy, fancy car might genuinely not really be able to afford that car if they really put this into practice. They're going to have a flashy car now, but maybe in the future, they're not going to have that comfort that comes from having a nest egg and a financial security working for you. Okay. So just know that a lot of people, what they're sharing online, they might be able to afford it, but they might be looking at their revenue, taking their lifestyle expenses off the top, and then they're left with nothing for savings and their future. I'm going to give you my husband's strategy, my strategy. We are very lucky that we share the same financial philosophies. It's very important to both of us that we are living within our means, that we are spending our money on experiences and on our children's education. Those are priorities for us. And also so that every single year we are maxing out our contributions. We are maximizing the tax advantages that come with the financial contributions to our 401k, whatever our possible max is every single year. We earmark that and put it away. And we really want to boost our retirement fund. And then beyond our 401k, we leverage profit sharing by contributing a certain percentage of our take-home income. We have very specific profit sharing kinds of accounts that our accountants set up for us, require certain levels of income and a specific annual contribution. We do about, I think, like 25%, whatever our take-home income is, which means it's coming after all the expenses and taxes and all of that. Then we max out a profit sharing account, which supercharges our retirement savings, and it will help build wealth faster by maximizing any kind of tax advantaged investing beyond a standard limit. So this is us deciding that we are living now within our means and prioritizing experiences and saving for our future. This is us building our nest egg. And if you build your nest egg, you will be so grateful. This is what we talked about the first week of our 3-part series. Remember, most PR and service-based agencies aren't totally sellable. And if they are, you're not getting a huge multiple. It's usually tied to you. We talked about that. And it's perfectly okay. That's totally fine. But that means that building your own retirement wealth is absolutely essential, because we don't want you to have to be working forever to live. You want to have money working for you so that you can save for your future. So having a really solid, strong nest egg will give you that freedom and peace so that you can retire comfortably, that you can have a second or third act. Let's say you don't want to do this anymore and you want to pursue something that's more of a passion project, or it's like setting up a charity or doing other things that maybe are not totally going to support the lifestyle that you want to have, but they're meaningful to you. They feel like it's tapping into your purpose. This strategy allows you to do that. It means that you are living off of that interest, living comfortably off of the money working for you every single year, and you're never touching the principal. The principal is the investment money you put into it, right? That's the money you took and you put into the account. That's the principal. The interest is what you want to ideally just be supporting your life with. I mean, that is the ultimate financial freedom, is not touching your principal, living off of your interests, and being able to have a life that you're loving, no matter what age you are, and not having to worry about taking care of yourself in the future, not having to worry about being a burden. I mean, that's something I think about a lot, is like not ever wanting to burden my children with our financial future, what that looks like. People are living longer and longer, which means you need to have a long runway, and you have to do this saving strategy to do that. So that's smart investing, and you have to do this immediately. No matter how big or small, the amount that you are able to contribute, it's all about consistency. And that is your secret weapon for long-term wealth building. Think of your future self. set regular investing habits. You can automate your contribution so it just automatically goes and you never have to worry about it or think about it or even see it. One of the ways that we do that is, I think, with our mortgage payment, our property taxes are like part of this impound account. So they just automatically go and we never have to think about saving for our property taxes. They are automatically taken every month with our mortgage and it just automatically gets paid. And I never have to worry like, oh my gosh, do we have the money for our property taxes? So these are setting up regular habits, automating contributions, and then looking at your plan and revisiting it annually to ensure that you're on track. And it just so happens you pay taxes annually. So when you meet with your accountant, be sure to bring this up. What does this look like? If you have a financial advisor, they will one of the values they provide is consistently looking at your account and rebalancing certain things. So if certain stocks or bonds, mutual funds, certain investment accounts you have are performing really, really well and some have losses, they want to sell some of the losses, sell some of the gains to offset so that there's a good balance going on all the time. That's what your financial advisor should not just be making trades for you. You can do that yourself. You want someone who is going to have a strategy for you based on your runway, what your risk tolerance is, how long you expect to work, what age you want to retire. How many kids do you have? Do you want to put them through college? You can build out a model and see exactly what you need to be able to have the kind of lifestyle future and afford the things you want to afford. So if you're paying somebody 1% or 0.75% of your net worth to invest on your behalf, they should be doing more than just buying trades and selling for you. They have to be really thinking about your runway, your overall picture, and your strategy. So look at that plan annually and see what your accounts are doing and if you're on track. And you ultimately want to set up a principal in your 401k, your financial retirement vehicles that will support you based on the lifestyle you want to have. That could be traveling 5-star hotels, flying first class. Awesome. Go for it. Do all of that if that's a priority for you. Just make sure that you've done that calculation and that you know how much you need to retire. That's why people say, how much money do you need to retire? That means living off of the interest for the future. So to wrap this up and wrap up the whole series, I just want to plant the seed. Think about this. Think about how to pay yourself for a solid and easy, secure future. Set up an appointment, book a session with your financial advisor or your CPA. Typically, they wouldn't charge for that. I don't think. They are going to make their money by taking a percentage of your overall investments that you have in your portfolio with them. So just talking to them shouldn't really cost you anything. Take control of your profit and build wealth. And doing that is all about making smart, strategic moves for your future. And I just want you to think about, any actions that you're taking today. Will your future self thank you for that? Or will they be annoyed that you didn't get this going sooner? Right? So if today's episode sparked a little aha moment about planning ahead, you are going to love my free training coming up. It is specifically for PR agency owners and for freelancers, and it's designed to help you build a profitable and secure future. That is my goal for all of us. So head on over to generationacademy.com/free training, grab your spot. People absolutely love it. Okay. So again, jump on over to generationacademy.com/free training, set up your spot so that you can join me live, and investing your profit first. This is the ticket to building real, lasting, generational wealth and a secure financial future. Your future self will thank you. You've totally got this. So go out there, crush it this week. I'm going to be over here crushing it too. And I'll see you in our next episode. Have a good one. Bye.